The other day I saw one of the Kikuyu ministers bathing in River Jordan and trying to preach from there.
Yeah.
The way John Baptist was,
Yeah.
was doing.
I'm sure he was very happy.
Yes, so you could see the happiness,
Yes.
that, in him with that exercise. Finding meaning and purpose in life. You also find that this meaning, and even those
Believers.
believers have also got a meaning
Yeah.
and purpose. I think in terms of spirituality, you find it both in and outside religion. Yeah, but for sure, religion gives you a purpose.
I'm happy to see you today. Welcome to the Happiness Society of Kenya's YouTube channel. My name is Gerald Kabra. I'm so glad that you always take your time to listen to these conversations on this YouTube platform, conversations that we hope will help you in having a more exciting and meaningful life that is full of happiness. I'm here with the Chief Happiness Officer of the Happiness Society of Kenya, Kiraitu Murungi. Great to see you. How are you?
Very fine, Jadiel.
How have you been?
We're trying still to get ourselves and Kenyans to live happier and more exciting lives.
Do you feel exciting? Do you feel happy? Do you feel you're doing well?
Yeah, I feel better. I think I was telling you the other day, I'm feeling a better version of myself. Yeah, so I'm looking forward even to more happiness as we go ahead.
Someone said it's an updated version, like a phone. You have updated your version.
Yes, every person has to keep updating, themselves. Otherwise, in a short while, you can be obsolete.
We thought, let's talk about Easter. Let's talk about religion. Is religion a path to happiness? You know, so many people right now are focusing on Easter. Good Friday, we're remembering, Christians remember the death of Jesus, giving himself for us, and, so that we can be forgiven. That is the Christianity, that is Easter for Christians. Let me ask you, when you think about religion, do you think of it being a path of happiness, and how does it become?
Sorry, I've been reading a bit, and they were showing empty cathedrals in Europe. It's just showing that as the society there has advanced, religion is, religion is reducing, or the impact of religion in their societies is reducing. And I think also already one saying in America only 40% of the people now follow the religious denominations.
40%.
About 40%. And they say, especially among the young people, the religion in terms of ritual and practices has really gone down. But this is not to say people are not spiritual. Concepts of what is right, what is wrong, is also high in society. There are many people condemning war, many people condemning discrimination and such. So the issues of morality are still there. What is going down is religious rituals and ceremonies and what have you. There's something I've read and I can share with you.
Yeah.
But your question was, is religion the true path to happiness? My simple answer would be yes. But I would also like to caution you that about quite a bit of the world is either of different religions or people who don't believe, in any supernatural being. And those people are also happy.
Oh.
Yeah. So although it is through their path to happiness, it is not the only path to happiness.
You can be a happy atheist.
Yeah, an atheist can also be happy. Yes. And the question is, You know, even atheism is a belief. There's no supernatural being. It's a belief. Just like you can believe that there's a God.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so when we come to finding meaning and purpose in life, you also find that this meaning, and even those believers have also got a meaning and purpose. I think in terms of spirituality, you find it both in and outside religion. Yeah, but for sure, religion gives you a purpose. I think very simply, there are people who have given themselves to God, whose purpose is to serve God, whose purpose is to recruit others to serve God. And if you see, like the Catholic priests who don't even get married so that they're not distracted by other worldly pressures, so that they can commit themselves 100% to serving God. So I think that's a very high level of commitment. So in terms of clarity of purpose, passion, and the drive, I think it is there. And sometimes you envy even the local people in the village who, even in terms of crisis and suffering, they leave everything to God. And
they're satisfied.
Somebody has died, somebody is sick, they just say a prayer and they are satisfied. So they sleep soundly because they have given all their burdens to God. So it's a source of happiness.
Yes. How do you find it as a source of happiness in relation to what you have studied as a happiness officer now?
As an happiness officer, we test our happiness through the 4 or 5 pillars, the Aspire Monroe. And I think we've dealt with one already, spirituality. In terms of religion is very rich in spirituality. And this goes beyond, they can define rituals and what have you, and ceremonies, but the belief in one God, the belief in a supernatural being, I think cuts across all the religions. And then the passion with which it is pursued, it gives people happiness. Then come to physical well-being. I think religion offers a very good platform for education. How do you live a longer life? How do you live a healthier life? There are a lot of groups using the church as a platform to teach others on how to have a balanced, nutritious diet, how to deal with the disease, how to retreat and calm your mind. Yeah, so I think when you come to physical well-being, there's plenty of that also in religion, not to mention groups organized within religion, a lot of movement in clubs there, the youth clubs, within various religion groups. Then religion can also be very interesting because of intellectual curiosity.
Oh yeah.
Yes, people trying to argue, try to determine the nature of God. This has engaged the world for centuries in debates, including whether God is there or not, including the miracles. Did they happen? They did not happen. Others, you see, taking buses and aeroplanes to go to Israel to trace the origins, the path of Jesus climbing the hill and where he was crucified. That's a kind of religious tourism.
Yes.
And venture, which gives people a lot of happiness. The other day I saw one of the Kikuyu ministers bathing in River Jordan and trying to preach from there.
Yeah.
The way John Baptist was,
Yeah.
was doing.
I'm sure he was very happy.
Yes, so you could see the happiness,
Yes.
that, in him with that exercise. There are also a lot of Christian movies, Christian songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of intellectual engagement within the context of religion,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of happiness.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people go for Bible study? And the Bible study takes you about 2 years. So every Monday evening or Wednesday evening, they are there reading, interpreting, and arguing about
The Bible.
the Bible.
And I think
So-
every
so-
church has that Bible study.
These
Group.
Bible study groups,
Yes.
these are informal universities, very, very intellectually challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True that.
Yes. Then you have the relationships. I don't think there's any other organization which is richer in relationships than the church. First, most of the churches I go to, you see the women's group. Then there's the youth group. Then the old men. They all call different names.
Yes.
I'm a Catholic, so I know the CMA. I'm actually a member of the Catholic Men Association. There is SOA, Catholic Women Association. There is the YCS, for the youth. Then go inside, you find there's the choir.
Yes.
There are now circles, within the church. So there are very many opportunities of connecting, having deep, meaningful connections with the people who believe the same things with yourself. And that is where you find friendships. A lot of young men also get their wives
Yeah.
from these groups,
True.
from the choir.
So some say, I saw you in my dream. God told me it's you.
Yes. Yeah, so one of the biggest predictors of happiness
Yes.
is these social relationships,
Yeah.
the friendships which uplift you, which energize you, and which also support you in case of need.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that in a region.
All right.
And then there are celebrations.
Yeah.
The anniversaries. The priest has served for 15 years, 20 years. So there's an anniversary for that. There are wedding anniversaries. There are weddings themselves, which are celebrations, baptism. Even these days, funerals, we are celebrating a life well lived, So you can see the church in all those. So religion is a major contributor of happiness within the society, the congregations that go there.
Do you think there's a point where religion can cause unhappiness? Is there that point? Because recently we've been seeing stories of, pastors or religious leaders who are mishandling their members, some stealing property, some, abusing them. How can people deal with that in their pursuit of happiness?
That's not religion. I think religion has been infiltrated by people who don't believe in God, by criminals. They just buy the uniform, bishop's robes and all that. And then everybody can read these days, can read the Bible. And they go for these gullible masses. You saw one of them who was manufacturing brand and creating miracles.
Yes.
The worst is Shakahola, where you're actually killing people and taking their property, pretending you are taking them to see Jesus. Yeah, so there's a lot of crime, suffering, and unhappiness caused by criminals and fraudsters, who are using religion as their entry point for fleecing them innocent and gullible masses. So I do agree with you. Pure religion might not cause unhappiness, but once infiltrated by criminals, then we are talking a different game.
You know, when someone is a believer, some people get to that point of giving to themselves.
Yes.
I've actually talked about priests when it comes to an element of purpose and nuns. Is that a way of becoming more happier for a believer, focusing on church and giving some their all to church? Is that a good way of finding happiness?
Now, first, I think my simple answer is that you can't become happy by giving everything you have away, and also giving yourself. You give yourself, you won't be there to be happy because you are no longer there. So, in fact, we discussed about this concept of selflessness within the happiness studies.
Because this is what Christ did, as you're speaking about Easter. He gave himself for us. Shouldn't we give ourselves for him?
Right. Okay. Now, I think from an happiness standpoint, you can emulate Jesus, but you can't be Jesus. You cannot give yourself the way Jesus Christ did. Because what we encourage to do is to love yourself. You can't be happy if you don't love yourself. You can't be happy if you are not there. So you have to be there, you have to love yourself for you to be happy. But it's also not contradictory for you to give. So, but they say give yourself first, then you give others. So there's a new word. They call it selffulness.
Self?
Instead of selfishness, they call it selffulness.
Oh.
Yeah, you give yourself and you give to others.
Oh.
So you are useful to others.
Okay.
But you also
remain as a person.
Yeah, you remain your basic responsibility is to yourself. Then when you are there, you cannot give others. And I think part of the mistakes you see in especially the suffering we are talking about in the churches is when somebody gives everything.
They forget they are an entity of their own.
Yeah, when they forget themselves. And that can cause a lot of misery. So they say, give yourself first, get your blessings, and then you bless others.
I want to pause there for a minute because this is a concept that most people do not understand, most people do not know when they get into religion. And we see this a lot in cases of parents saying, I haven't seen my child for years because they got lost or they are serving God somewhere. How would you talk about that in the perspective of happiness? Because most people do not get this, because you get pastors that talk to you about give yourself to God all the time, and it gets confusing.
No, even in the Bible it is there. I wouldn't know exactly where, but you recall there's a saying that those people bring burnt offerings and give to God. And then they are told, go back home first and reconcile with your brother. Then come and sacrifice to God.
Yes.
So I think the Bible also recognizes that there is need for you to take care of yourself and your relationships, even as you come to. So you cannot ignore your own personal drama so that you can go for an external drama. It is very important for you to take an inside look. In fact, challenges that we have in religion is that the self-advertisement, self-promotion, and all that when somebody is empty inside. I think you will be more focused on your soul, we may call it that, on the inner strengths, on morality and such. I think you'll be more religious than somebody shouting at the top of their voice around speakers and calling the name of Jesus.
You know, you hear someone has committed suicide and you say, but this person was a prayer warrior in church. You hear someone has gone through something and you say, but this person was serving very well in church. Then you understand that probably there was something missing inside.
Yeah, they could be burning inside. They could be completely broken and all that, but they put a show. You know, brother, they smile at you, but they are broken down inside. These are people who are really, what would I say? They are not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said in one of our conversations, autopilot in some way.
Yeah, they are not there for themselves, but they want to pretend they are there for others. And I think that's a very dangerous. In fact, when we talk about self-love, self-esteem, self-care is very, very important. Even for you to meaningfully participate in any religious congregation, you know, you have to take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Finally.
And then even if you are to give there, what are you giving? So you have to work so that you can have some money,
Yes.
which you can go and give the tithe, isn't it?
Yes.
So there's always an assumption
Yes.
that you have taken care of yourself somewhere else before you come to a church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, when you look at this Easter season or period, I'd like to talk about forgiveness.
Right.
How important is forgiveness and letting go when it comes to the pursuit of happiness? Because you find a lot of people who have different grudges with different people, and you know, they claim, or maybe they are happy. Can you be happy when you haven't truly forgiven?
I think you can be hurt by somebody else, and you feel a lot of bitterness in you. The bitterness consumes you, and the reason why you forgive is you don't forgive to that other person, because the other person might not even need your forgiveness, might not even appreciate it, might not even ask for it. But you're advised to forgive them all the same for your own sake. Just to remove the bile, you know, out of you, so that you can move on. Otherwise, they can consume you and psychologically destroy you. So forgiveness is a way of letting go. It's a way of closure. And that way, it then gives you happiness, because you need to replace that bitterness with more positive feelings.
All right.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning into our conversation on religion as a true path to happiness. If you believe this is true, leave a comment down below. What is your take on religion with happiness? Just as always, maybe your final remarks this particular month on this particular episode with regards to happiness and religion.
Easter is the time of suffering and the rising of Christ. And I think it has a very important message for us. In this world, there will be a lot of suffering. There will be a lot of pain. But you are challenged by the experience of Easter to rise up again. You are losing and losing and losing, but you are told not to give up. You know, rise the way Jesus Christ has risen. Yeah, that is when they say, for what you asked me before about these fake people, the Bible has the answer. I think again it's Matthew chapter 7 verse 17. They say you shall judge them by their fruits. Yeah, those people who are conning others in the name of religion, the fruits will be seen. Those crying women, yeah, those
They will be known.
Yeah, they will be exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what a conversation with our Chief Happiness Officer. Maybe now he's also our father or pastor. Thanks for tuning into this one. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day. Have a great weekend. And, tell as many people as possible that we are here and we have these conversations that are enriching. Goodbye for now.